welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 63 of Thick and Thin with LB, Duty, and Hitman. This week's topics are I don't really care, no one knows, we're trying so hard, but it's just failing miserably. So we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. Apparently we're going to talk about the Oculus Rift. That's one thing we're going to talk about. We just decided just now. Literally, if you're tuning in, we decided this 4 seconds ago. A couple other things, obviously the launch of a hint console. I don't know, could be anything, we don't know. Hint, it's Xbox One. Hint, November 22nd. We'll talk about a couple other things, but before we do, as always, LBSUTKE. He's online. He's ready to talk about why he thinks the Rift is the greatest thing since the invention of a calculator.
No!
No?
It's a waste of fucking money. Why the fuck did... Wait, let's do it. Wait. I've got my Oculus Rift.
Oh, you're having
having so much fun.
Before you did that, you weren't having a great time, and now you are having a great time.
It's so much fun.
Yep. And, of course, Hitman is here as well to add a little bit of reason and calm into this discussion. since LB just can't handle it. It's too much.
LB's too crazy for us.
He is. He's crazy bananas. So anyway, this is a topic that really... I don't know. And in fact, if you're watching the stream right now, that's 2 LBs on screen. That is what it will look like if you're wearing an Oculus Rift. Oh, god damn it.
Gone.
That was it. We had it. That's why it was 3D LB.
Twice the LB.
Twice the fun. We call it. Yeah. So anyway, if you've been keeping up with the news, and we haven't, but we read it like just before we go live, Sony's allegedly working on a PlayStation 4 version, essentially, of the Oculus Rift. And from what we've kind of learned, this Oculus Rift thing is been gaining some steam, frankly, and a lot of people love it. LB is not one of them, but we're now seeing Sony sort of trying to follow the trend and get there before the Oculus Rift is actually ready. Now, the Rift, if you don't know what it is, it's a VR headset. You put it on. It's got 2 little LCD screens that you look through. It's got an adjustable lens, so if you have some jacked up eyeballs, it'll autocorrect for you. And it makes all of your video games on the PC basically like VR, virtual reality. You turn your head wherever you turn your head, camera moves with you. They don't have a lot of depth of field stuff, so you can't like rock back and forth or anything. You can really just kind of control the way you look and whatnot. But it's supposed to obviously bring more immersion into the game. And we've seen a lot of iterations of VR in the past. It's kind of been a thing that I've grown up with. I can't remember the name of you'd go to an arcade and they'd have that like VR system there. You guys remember that thing? You remember that thing where they had like the VR deal and you'd like stand in like the fucking little circle deal and you put this giant helmet on and they're like Dave and Buster's. They were like, they were gimmicky. They weren't like the greatest thing in the world, but you could buy them. But anyway, right now this thing's in beta. It's been in beta for forever. Developers have had their hands on it, and they love it. There's pretty much been circle jerking going around the development world about this thing. They love it. The idea is to bring VR to the consumer for a really, really low cost. They don't know the price yet, but I think developer models are only around $1,000. That may sound like a lot of money, but in the world of consumer products, you can almost, what they usually say is, a third of the cost. So you're looking at maybe around $300 when the product is released. Now LB's laughing again, and LB, by the way, bought a Kinect. So look who's laughing now.
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Remember, I didn't buy a Kinect.
Did you buy a Wii?
No, I did not.
Okay, I'm on your side now. We're friends. We're friends again. By the way, I bought both of those things. So anyway, it's a consumer product. But now, the only reason I want to talk about it is because now Sony is trying to get into this market as well. So the question that I'm posing is, and of course I think we already know from the chuckles, laughs, and scoffs from the peanut gallery, is anyone interested in this thing? LB, how do you feel about VR in general coming to a console near you?
Well, the idea of VR is nice, but nobody gets it done right, and it fucking sucks. I mean, look at this Oculus Rift, right? For yourself, you said you'll be able to look left and right and look around, but you can't move. So you're still going to need another controller on top of that.
Correct.
Movement, right?
Yep.
So people already now are complaining that, oh, headsets are so heavy on my head, I can't play for 9 hours with a headset on my head. So now you're going to put this fucking thing over your eyes? No. And $300 on top of that?
Well, okay. I agree with you that it is, first of all, the barrier to entry is large. $300, again, we don't know the price, so I don't want to get angry at them for a price that is not set, but that's fair. I think it's a fair assessment that it probably will cost a decent amount of money because there is a lot of technology packed into that thing.
Sure.
But the idea was VR was always cost prohibitive in the past. Yes, $300 is a lot of money, but given how VR has been, if you wanted to buy your own VR system, you were looking at like $3,000, and there was no developers were making anything for it. So it's hard to kind of put a judgment on that because there was no software for it. The idea with this Oculus Rift is obviously to bring that cost down low enough where developers want to develop for it and people will wear it. I do agree that it's probably going to be weird wearing the VR headset around the house. I don't know. It's not the most, like, it's bizarre. Yeah, it is bizarre. I will agree. But then again, gamers nowadays, we're a very social group now because of the online world, but at the same time, we're totally loners. We're sitting in our rooms by ourselves being social. Right, so I don't know that it's weird to wear a headset while sitting in your room. I do think 9 hours of gaming on that probably will make you sick and or blind. I can see that being a concern. I really can. But it's gimmicky in that way. So I mean, I guess that's the question. Is it if it was okay if they did it right, LB? Because you've never put it on.
Right.
You've seen the videos on like YouTube, and everyone that puts that thing on is like, this is the coolest thing ever. I really have not seen any bad feedback come out of the Oculus Rift. Would you at least agree to that? I mean, most people seem to have enjoyed the experience when they've used it.
Well, I mean, yeah, I agree with you. I haven't seen someone been like, oh, that fucking sucks, you know? But I don't think they're fully thinking it through. All right, yeah, you're getting to test out some cool new equipment, right? Oh, this is great. Now you're going to go home and buy it? Now you're going to go home and use it for all your games? Now you're going to go home and put it on? I don't think so.
I don't know.
I mean, look, you got already people that are already freaking out with the Kinect, right? They're like, oh my God, this Kinect, how am I going to play with it? How is it going to be used? I can't figure it out. It's costing me an extra $100. Wow! So now you're going to try to encourage a whole nother set of the same gamers that are freaking out for paying this extra $100 already that, oh, now I can go out and buy another peripheral to put over my fucking eye sockets and play some video games.
I agree with that portion. If you're putting in the same category as a Kinect, though, I will have to refute that only because this is more of a game enhancement than it is changing the dynamic of the way that you play the game. It's a replacement for the monitor. It doesn't replace the controls that you use. Like you said, you control the game in the same function that you would before. You're just getting rid of the monitor itself, which I find interesting even in a standpoint of portability. If they got it small enough, or if you had a rig with you small enough, even on the console thing, that's why I kind of like this idea that Sony's doing it. Bringing that system with you, sort of maybe on vacation or whatever, and maybe you don't have a monitor, but you just put your glasses on, you plug your PlayStation 4 into the power socket, you get it on a network somewhere in a hotel, and you're playing. That's kind of cool. I don't know if that's worth $300 or not, but it's certainly for a portable TV, I guess. $300 isn't so bad, and they've shown a lot of cool stuff. Just in, I think the latest demo has been, Valve's game. It's now escaping me. I played it for years. Their little FPS.
No, Team Fortress.
The Team Fortress 2, yeah. They showed a little bit of that and how what it does do is it kind of unlocks some things that you probably wouldn't be used to doing in an FPS, where you can sort of have your sights on a guy and you're shooting him. You've got a beat on him and you're shooting him, but you can look to the left and right to see if anyone's coming at you, but keep that beat on that guy. That unlocks a certain level, I think, that hasn't been there in FPS gaming or in that particular game. So it does add something to the game and it's not just the gimmicky part. I mean, they've kind of showed a little bit of the competitive side, how you'd be able to sort of, look around corners and do things that you can't really do with a controller because you don't have enough detail in the controller to sort of have a free range look with your head. But this detaches that, and really you're just moving forward and back, left and right, and firing. But everything else is attached to the head. I can see that as a cool evolution. No, I mean, what's your take on it? Do you have a take on it or no? How do you feel?
Not really. I'm really indifferent about it. To tell you the truth, I don't know if I really care. I hear that Oculus is doing really well, and especially from the early betas to like where it is now, 1080p, 60 frames. But I don't know. I have to try it on. I think it's a cool idea. Everyone seems to like it. I have to try it myself.
I think that's. Would you be willing to spend the $300 to try it? Because I think that's what's going to end up happening. I mean, people are going to have to want to give it a shot.
Like a Google Glass kind of thing, where I try it out, or $300. Yeah, I guess. Like I wanted to try the Google. I wanted to try the Google Glass, but like it was like $1,500.
Well, yeah,
and
then
crazy.
Again, that's.
I think you have to find the right price point.
Even in Google Glass, they've said that's not the consumer price because the product is not out yet. You can buy a developer version of it. You can spend the money, and the same goes with if you want to buy any of Oculus Rift, or if you want to be the one to take the plunge, you can order a developer unit if you want to. You're gonna spend a shitload of money, but that's part of being at the bleeding edge of gaming or any technology. You're gonna have to spend the money. So the question is, would you? I mean, obviously LB is saying, but I mean, if you had the money. Because let's face it, $300 you can almost buy a console for that amount of money. You're in that range where you can buy an entire system for the amount of money that you're going to spend on buying the Oculus Rift. So it is cost prohibitive if that's what they end up being the market for. I know I'm looking in the back. That's what I'm saying.
$300, I think I'd try it just from everything that I've heard, and I like goofy gadgets. I definitely would try it out for $300. We get to keep it, right? Or to return it?
No, you can keep it.
Okay,
we'll let you keep it.
Yeah, sure.
We'll let you keep it.
Yeah, I'll do it. Same with like all the other like fancier peripherals. They just announced it yesterday or today. The Xbox Illumiroom. They said that it's not going to come out. It's going to be too expensive for people.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
But I'd buy it. I don't care. It looked like a cool idea. Let's try it out.
Oh, wait a minute. They said that could be costing the thousands.
Yeah, I'll try it out. I'll try it.
Thousands.
Oh, come on.
I really liked the Illumiroom. I thought it was a cool idea.
Thousands. He wasn't like, it could be somewhere in 1,000. Thousands.
Tens of thousands or
plural.
thousands?
No, he didn't say tens of thousands.
Okay.
So I'm saying anywhere between
0
2,500 and 6. So let's say it's $4,000.
The cost of a car.
$4,000. And you're gonna show up and you're gonna be like, "Here you go. Here's my plastic, bitches. Give me my Illumiroom."
Yeah, no.
I'll try it.
Well, I will say this. This is the cool thing that they've been really talking about since its inception, is that their goal with this product. I mean, it's the biggest reason they started building it is to get it in the hands of the most people possible. They're saying at the very starting point that's $300. Again, that may seem like a lot of money, but in the world of VR, this is by an extreme amount the cheapest it's ever been. This type of technology. You were talking about something that in just a few years ago, thousands and thousands of dollars. Now they've got it down to $300. But what they've also been talking about is we don't just want it to be $300. They envision it one day being free. And what they mean by this free model is they want to subsidize it in some way, either through the development of the games themselves. So, hey, buy this system or buy this PC, get an Oculus Rift free, or buy this 5-pack of video games, get an Oculus Rift with it. And really, even going so far as saying, hey, buy this game and for $10 a month for the next X months, you get an Oculus Rift and you just pay it off sort of almost like a layaway, a Rift on layaway, if you will. I love that idea just in the sense that that is what you need to shift hardware. That's what you need to get people to actually pick up something and try it. You've got to get it cheap, and you've got to get it into as many people's hands as possible. The more people that have it, the more developers will develop for it. And all hardware lives and dies by software. We all know that now. That's common. We know this. So the idea with the Rift is they've been giving it away to all the big companies, all the developers they can. They just give it to them. They want them to develop for it. And if the consumer can pick it up for a cheap enough price, maybe everyone will be in their boxers in the living room with a fucking giant Rift thing on their head. I don't know. I mean, LB, at the right price, what's the right price for you for something like this, for a peripheral like this?
I mean, the idea of like maybe, tying it into the Xbox 2.
Right.
Whatever they're going to call. Maybe in that case, if it came with the system, then I'd be like, all right, I'll give it a shot. But if I had to, just go out to the store and buy it, oh, shit. Honestly, maybe $199, maybe. At $100, probably. Anything under $100, I'd probably roll the dice.
I think that's fair. I do. I mean, I don't know. I do agree. There again, I was reading just to make sure, and I was spot on. It is $300. But they're saying that as of right now, the Oculus Rift is available as a $300 dev kit. It's actually cheaper than I thought. So it could be, it could come out and be a lot cheaper. We don't know. I will say, after every review I've seen so far, people have said not only is it worth the $300, but they feel like that is a value. One developer said, free is good, but $300 price tag is worth every single penny in my book. But again, it's just like a Wii. It's like the thing that I agree with LB about is it's a gimmick until we put it in the real world and we see how it affects our games. At the end of the day, when someone comes off of work and they want to play a game, I don't know that their first thought is going to be, I want to sit in a dark corner and put a virtual reality thing over my eyes. They just want to plop down on the couch, hit power, throw in the game, and play it. I don't know that they want that, and that's the thing with when you're creating a product like this. Are consumers screaming for virtual reality? I don't think so.
You also gotta wonder if how much damage is this causing your eyes? Like, will it make you sleepier? Will it have any side effects? I don't know. I look at the 2DS. Like, they basically made a product because people were didn't want the 3D or worried about it, or I don't know.
No, I mean it's a good point. I mean, is it and it goes really to LB's original point, which I think is probably the best of all of them. Not the price, not any of that stuff, but does someone want to sit in a room for 6 hours or 9 hours and wear this helmet? And it is quite. I got to be honest. I call it a helmet just to be a dick, but they've made it really light. If you look right now, what it really looks like is a pair of ski goggles. It does not look any different than a pair of ski goggles. And what they've done, which I find really cool, is when you see the unit, like if this was the unit right here, you can flip up the goggles, as if you're taking your glasses off. That it still stays on your face, but just the lenses you're able to flip up and down. So if someone rings the doorbell, which I think will be hilarious that you answer the door in this fucking thing, but you can flip the lens, the actual blacked out area, you can flip it up, and it's just you have free vision. You can see everything in front of you. So the unit stays wrapped around your head, but you don't have to take the whole thing off. So you just kind of flip it up as if you had a cover on your eyes, and you're good to go.
Listen.
Yeah, hit me.
How many do you think dudes sitting around playing with this? They're sitting, ding dong, oh, my pizza's here. I'm just going to flip it up, go to the door. Hey, what's up, bro? Thanks for my pizza. Here's a tip later. No.
Dude, let me say this right now to you. I totally would.
You would
yeah,
not.
I 100% I would.
No.
100% I would.
Nope.
Yes, I would.
Nope.
I don't care. It doesn't bother me.
No.
All right. I'm just telling you that I would.
All right. What if you didn't know who was at the door?
I'd still do it.
No, you would.
I don't care. I look like a I look like a spaceman. Like I just came from the future to give this pizza delivery boy knowledge about his future. That's what I'm there for.
Yeah, but if you don't know, let's say you don't know who's at the door.
Who's coming to my door where I'm worried about whether I have a spaceman face mask on?
Maybe it's a sexy lady.
Maybe it is, and then I'm like, welcome to the future, baby.
Welcome to the future.
Fantastic.
Hey.
Exactly. Yeah. See, now you're catching on.
No, wait. Let me picture you naked. Yeah.
See, yeah. I'm gonna put my 3D goggles on. Oh, boobies. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. But anyway, so it's an interesting conversation. I've been following the Rift sort of like on a personal level because I think the idea is cool. It does have that Wii vibe to it of gimmickness. I don't disagree with that, but it works for the PC currently. Obviously, they want to get as many markets as possible. So you start to see Sony. I think when you start to see Sony or a big company start to like take notice of this or try to buy them out or whatever, you still gotta at least pay attention to it. And it's been consistently gaining steam. There has really been no negative reviews about it. All of the press love it. The developers that get their hands on it are ape shit into it. They love it. Developers are like that, though, because they see sort of a new space and they like to explore it, and that's their creative side. I respect that. But it's a product they can get behind, which I think is a good thing. And if it's low cost, I will be one of the first purchasers. I will say that. Whether or not this thing catches on, I don't know. But if it does, I guarantee you this idea that Sony's doing is going to come. You're going to see it a month later. You know, if it catches on, and they've been looking into this, they're going to pull the trigger. So it's cool. I don't know. I guess we just have to wait and see. It's one of those things. It's a wait and see technology, but you know, I'm ready, dude. LB is not a believer. It makes me sad.
No.
I'm ready. I'll be in line with you.
Yeah.
I'll
See,
be in line with you.
me and you will be goggled up
We'll
while
enter the
LB's
future
playing on the
together.
super. Yes, exactly. Both of us will answer the door in our boxers wearing just the VR headset.
I can see. Listen, I can picture the lawsuits now, right? You're gonna have the people playing for like 4 or 5 hours, right? They take it off. They're disoriented. The dude trips over the goggles because it's on the ground. Fucking slices his face on the glass
Wow,
table.
this is insane.
Well, I mean, look at. But again, back to the Wii. You had the controllers, and people are like, yeah. You know, and they'd shit on their $3,000 TV, and they'd be like, "Rawr! The Wii made me break my TV."
Yeah, but they're not suing Nintendo. That's just you being a fucking idiot.
Well,
I mean, if you walk into a brick wall because you have your Oculus Rift mask down, well, then maybe you should stop being an idiot.
hey, McDonald's got sued for serving hot coffee.
Well, can I be honest? That coffee was too hot. That woman was doing the Lord's work. All right.
And then listen,
Right.
we already have the tinfoil crazy dudes right now with the Xbox One, right? Think the NSA is
Yeah,
going
but
to
I
drop
don't think
fucking
the Rift.
ninjas.
I don't think the Rift has that same. That's the thing about the Rift.
Hold on. Right now, this is what's going through their head. They're going to try to control my mind, getting through the Oculus Rift into my brain. They're going to send images through the Oculus Rift to my brain, and I'm going to become a secret spy for the government NSA. I'm telling you right now. You've got those dudes out there because they're already worried about that their fucking Kinect is on, and they think that NSA is going to want to see me in my fucking boxers eating a Hot Pocket playing some Halo.
I don't know. I think you're going a little too far with this. I think you're bad mouthing the Rift. I think you're bad mouthing the Rift. I don't think you're really giving it. The Rift isn't connected to the internet. It's not fucking.
What do you mean it's not connected to the internet? What do you mean?
It's a peripheral. It's not connected to the internet. It's a monitor on your eyeball. That's it. My monitor
is only connected to the Xbox.
No, it's not. It's not.
Right?
My monitor is not connected to the internet. It's just a monitor. It just displays stuff.
It's connected to the. It's connected
Jesus
to
Christ,
the
you are taking this to a level that is so unrealistic.
Listen, if you're connected via HDMI, you have the capability of it talking back and forth.
This chopstick is not connected to the internet. I just want everyone to know that right now. This chopstick not connected to the internet. Not.
Listen, I'm telling you, you're going to have those people, then you're going to have, again, the other people who are going to trip over themselves because they're disoriented. They're like, oh, I didn't know this would do it to me. I've got brain damage.
Yeah, but newsflash, people are stupid. This is not, what are you uncovering right now? That people are dumb? Congratulations. This is a fact. No one is impressed by this.
Well,
nobody.
You agree with me. I brought another point to the table.
Oh, dear God. Anyway, so moving on. By the way, everyone go out and buy a Rift as soon as it comes out. Just to prove I'll be wrong by red. All right, so the other thing that came out today or yesterday or 3 days ago, I don't remember, is that there's a little console called the Xbox One, and it happens to be releasing November 22nd. Now, whenever I see these release dates, I don't know, does anybody actually care about the date? We knew it was November, right? And so there's like a lot of hype, like what's going to be the day that I get it? What's it going to be? Do we think it's any like less or worse off for them against Sony with this date, with the 22nd? Does this matter? Because wait, when is Sony's, by the way? What's the actual date on Sony's?
I think the 4th.
They're earlier, is what I'm almost positive of. Is that they're earlier?
Are they a week earlier?
On the 15th, yeah, they're a week earlier.
On the 15th, so they're a week earlier. Does this hurt the Xbox? Because the cool news that came out of this, not only was it released, and I thought this was awesome. I thought more people should have picked up on this, but they increased the actual CPU power. They bumped it up to, I think, 1.75. It was 1.6 or something. It's a pretty good net increase. It's not a huge amount, but it's like close to like 10%.
The funny thing is that this is
pretty cool.
This is the second increase to their CPU.
Right.
It was at 1.5, and then they bumped it to 1.6, and now they bumped it even more. So yeah, they're doing a good job over there, I think, with like making sure they can get the best product possible.
So do you think this is like, could this be why it's a week later? I mean, like, what do you think about this release date? Does the date matter? Because everyone says that it's the first to launch. I mean, we've had this sort of idea that the guys that get their system out first, if gamers are like rabid dogs, especially right now. We've waited a really, really, really long time to get a new system. This is the longest anyone's really waited for a new console since gaming. It's always been very close to a 5-year cycle. That's always been the standard in the industry. Now we're at, almost 9 years or 8 years? I think 8 is
8
where we're
years.
at. Yeah. So, people are like ready. They're just like, they're throwing money at the fucking monitor, hoping that a system will come out of it. Is this week going to be a big difference for Microsoft? No. What do you guys think? Not for guys like us, because unfortunately for guys like us, we have a biased attitude no matter what we say. Yeah. Because obviously we've made our choice. We're hardcore gamers. And again, I have my money on both ponies, so I can't really speak to it either. But for the guy that's waiting in the wings to see what happens, does this matter?
I don't think a week is that big of a deal. I'll agree that first to the market is significant if we're talking about months at a time. If we're talking, 2 to 3 months or even longer, yes, because then they've got a real head start. You've got a lot of momentum. You might even have a couple games come out in that time that steal a lot of fence sitters.
Yeah.
Then there might be a situation. 7 fucking days? No, please. I mean,
not a big deal.
Yeah, the PS4 is gonna do well. I would think it's gonna get maybe a tiny little bump for being a week earlier, but we're talking, 0.01% bump, maybe. It's nothing significant. I can't see, it being that bad. I think the only bad move from Microsoft is truly if they would have done Black Friday. That would have been fucking idiotic.
That's what I wanted to ask you guys. When is Black Friday? I thought the 22nd was Black Friday.
I actually thought it was as well.
Actually, hold on. That's a good point.
It might be. Well, it might be during that week.
No, isn't the 29th Black Friday?
I think you're right. But isn't it? I think it's during that week. So I don't know if that's even a bad idea. Anyway, do you think Black Friday really would be a big deal? Yeah, it's the 29th. It's Friday the 29th. Okay, so, but I mean that's still within that week, right? So
they're gonna run out before Black Friday anyway.
Probably, yeah. Probably, yeah. Yeah, I would assume the way hardware goes.
Friday asking, hey, do you guys have any more Xbox Ones? And everyone's gonna be like, no.
Yeah, weren't you here a week ago? Here, have a Wii U.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be like, "What am I,
Zelda.
homeless?"
Here you go.
Homeless people play that. I'm gonna play that game.
$50 cheaper. Wink, wink.
Right. Right. No one's gonna be that. No. So for the fence sitters, you're saying no. I mean, for me, I actually agree with you this time because I think you're right. But frankly, if they had a game And that's where I really think you've hit the nail on the head, is if they had a game to sell, if they had, like, if Killzone mattered, I don't think it does. If you had, like, a Halo-esque game that everyone was just waiting for, then yes, I think a week would actually have a significant impact. Because if the choice was wait a week for the Xbox One or get Sony's system with this awesome game that everyone's been talking about, then maybe you'd have a real thing. Like, you know, if you had like The Last of Us, but it was an exclusive for the PS4, everyone had been raving about it, it's the game to buy, then you might have something on your hands there. But I think you're right. A week, I don't know. I don't think it matters. I will say this. I being the middle guy like me who was like, I could buy this or I could buy that, I don't really care. Because I'm so excited just to get a new system, I will buy that PS4. I mean, I will get it on launch day. Now, if it was the opposite, since I've been an Xbox guy for so long, and the Sony PlayStation 4 wasn't coming out for, like, let's say 2 weeks after the Xbox One, I'd probably not buy it. And that, I think, is a little bit of that's a strange scenario for me. Because I'd say to myself, well, I've always been an Xbox One guy. It's coming out first anyway. I'll get that. Then I'll see how the Sony goes, and we'll go from there. But I'm just so excited to have new tech that I'm like, well, I might as well buy this. I was going to buy it anyway, so now I'm going to buy it to see how it is. And yes, it's only a week, but then I'll have my Xbox One anyway. So for me, it is actually swaying a little bit because I don't think I would be buying the Sony right off the bat had it not come out first. So that 7-day period does have, at least for me as a consumer, has a little bit of a, I don't know, a little bit. I mean, yeah, who really knows? If it was a week after, I don't know. But I'm going to give it a shot, that's for sure. And I definitely wouldn't have done it in the past. So I don't know. I mean, it's cool. I think the biggest thing that come out of this is the fact that they can get their hardware even at the last minute when they're manufacturing and make these incremental changes into speed and stuff like that. To me, that's the biggest news to come out of this date, is that even at the end of the line when they were ready to fucking start printing this shit, they were like, no, we can get more power out of this. I mean, that's to me is a big deal because in the future, if they want to make these changes, they really can't, because they can't have the consumer have a shittier product than the guy who's down the street who bought it a year ago or bought it, you know what I mean? You can't do that now. So...
Well, isn't it just it's basically they're not putting a different chip in there. They're just doing an overclock.
Yeah, correct.
So they could just do a software update in the future and go, hey, you know, click on the speed, you know, another 10%.
That's only if...
No?
Yes, that's possible. I mean, obviously, if you're doing an overclock on a PC or something like that, it's usually a BIOS thing where you can unlock a certain amount of speed and overclock the CPU to a respectable level where you're not going to burn out the motherboard or something like that.
Right.
The thing is, we don't know at what level they're doing this. Are they doing it at the hardware level or are they doing it at the software level? Is the way they've manufactured the chip better now, so when they're ready to go to press, they got more juice out of it? I don't know. I always wondered if that's the way things are going to go. I mean... We've gotten to this point where if you buy a system, you're locked into this certain hardware model and it's manufactured for 5 years using the same hardware until the end of its life cycle. Could we eventually see, you know, a Xbox 1.5 that is a more superior box than the original Xbox One, and that the games that you play on that box will take advantage of graphical improvements that you may not see, and so we have more of I guess more of that like iteration sort of, so you don't have to wait till the next Xbox 2. You have an upgrade that you can do with your existing system that plays well with your games. I've always wondered if that sort of model would work for us, for console players, or if that's maybe just not something we'll ever see.
Are you thinking about like the Nintendo expansion pack? You know, that little...
Yeah, I mean, that used to happen,
the
yeah. The 64 megabytes of RAM expansion pack was what it was, yeah.
You thought like something like that for Xbox One?
Yeah, I always wondered if that's, you know, that was you bring up, that's like the best example of it in the console world. Obviously, we already know about it in the PC world. You can do whatever you want. You know, is that didn't really go well for Nintendo. Most people didn't buy that thing. But maybe that's because it really hasn't been marketed well, or we haven't seen like a big jump. But when I see these like hardware changes, I always wonder, like, you know, could we see that down the road? It's what we've sort of all been like hinting at with a Steam box, which the idea was Steam would run the software and many companies would take the hardware specs into their own hands, and you'd be able to have varying degrees of this Steam box system that you played at your house. You may own the Steam box that Magnavox made. I may own one that Sony makes or somebody else, and we all have the same platform, but we have varying degrees of that system. I mean, do you think that could be something that we see down the road or no? I don't know.
Well, I think in one sort of way you kind of already did, because even with the 360, when the 360 first came out, it didn't have HDMI.
Yeah, that's true.
And
yeah.
They updated to the HDMI. And also, they were
That's
upgrading
true.
processors to, like, didn't the original one come out at, like, the 80 nanometer and then went to, like, the 60 nanometer and then the 40 nanometer or whatever it was?
That wasn't really for speed. That was more just, like, heating issues because
right.
we all know about the first Xbox.
Well, it was, but it was still a new chip, no?
No, absolutely, but that's... I mean... What it's saying is you're not getting any more power on it. Like
right.
Your version of my version of my Xbox, which is still a launch version, is no different than an Elite that anyone buys.
Right.
Visually, of what we see. Actually, I mean, I guess one could make a case that because I don't have HDMI in my original, that you actually do see a better picture quality than I do, even though resolution-wise, you're really kind of getting the same sort of thing.
Right.
In terms of processing power, I should say.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean. Like I said, they don't want to offend the consumer to feel like I'm playing on the shitty model because I'm a first person, one of the first generation buyers. Like we don't want to alienate those people. But there's always that barrier. Like when you buy an iPhone or you buy anything like that, my iOS software, the software that runs my iPhone, I have a 4S. It's no different than the guy that has the 5, which is chip-wise is like a 30% increase in chip speed between the two phones. I still run the same software. I play the same games you do and all that other stuff. Like why? I wonder sometimes why that hasn't made it back over to the console market. People are used to that. If you're on the bleeding edge, you're going to end up with a shittier product. But then again, if you're on the bleeding edge, you're going to buy the newest version or iteration anyway. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it's certainly something that I've always sort of wondered. And seeing this with this release date sort of kind of brought that issue up with me again. Like, oh, maybe we will see an Xbox 1.5. I don't know.
And personally, I honestly, I don't think it's a hardware deal. I truly believe the tweaks they're doing are software. Because you really don't want, at manufacturing standpoint and a distribution standpoint, you can't be waiting, right now, swapping in, like 3 or 4 different chips. We're like, oh, well, this works a little bit better. Let's try this one, da-da-da-da. When you're just doing that little BIOS overclock, you've got the chips, you've got them sent to wherever they're stockpiled, ready to go. You got the board sent, stockpiled, ready to go. Software is easy. I'm not saying, just anyone can do it, but it's easier than shifting hardware.
Yeah, I do agree with that, yeah. And really usually what those overclocks have to do with is how much can we overclock it until we too much heat, right?
Right.
That's the idea. Are we going to burn? So this is almost this is a good sign because, obviously if anyone remembers the original Xbox, the thing would fucking melt down your whole house, and that's why you get red rings all the time because you literally be burning the GPU, and that's what would happen. The glue would come off the board, and you'd get red ring. So if they're at a process now where not only have they upped it, but they've upped it twice since they've talked about it, they must be really comfortable with the cooling that they have in the system. This must be, this should make you feel happy. And in a way, I would almost laugh my ass off if we started getting red rings again, because that means they could have left it at 1.6, but no, they had just one more turn of it. Oh fuck, red ring! Like it would be funny to sort of see that again. Not funny, haha, funny, but like, god damn it, the irony is just too much for me to ignore.
That would be company ending mistake.
That would be it, yeah. And to see them sort of like have the balls to do this, like I don't know, it's kind of.
They can't screw this up. Not this launch. Too much writing on it. I just find it funny with all these launches from the last gen to this gen. It started off Xbox, then PlayStation, then Nintendo, and this time it's Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox. Like the order switch. It's really I don't know. I found that interesting.
And actually, believe it or not, like we've been kind of harping on Nintendo for a while. And it's kind of easy to do. one thing about Nintendo that I've been reading, and I do tend to agree with, they actually sold a shit ton of consoles, more than the Sony PS3 did at launch with the Wii U. And they still have yet to start releasing their titles, and I think that was the biggest problem with them, is they don't have that title release yet. That title release is going to start to coalesce around the launch of these two systems, so we might see that Wii U actually pick up. You're finally going to start seeing the Zelda games, the Mario games, the games that make them money are coming out this holiday season as well. So they're still a contender. Are they they're not in it to win it, so to speak, against these other two, but they've got a money push coming up just like the other two do. It's a different demographic, but we might actually see those sales kick up. That I wouldn't count them out, I should say. They're not hemorrhaging money.
I think they're more going for, they want to be the second system at home.
Yeah, right.
Where you've
the fun system.
Yeah, mom will hop on and play some Angry Birds with the kid or something like that, But yeah.
But,
I agree.
Do they have 8 controller support though?
That's a great question, Ed. No.
Yeah, and I think that's the final topic for today. Because we were talking about this, whether it's even a worthwhile topic to have, I don't know.
Ugh.
And it was just, there's not a lot of topics today, but this is one of the things they didn't really announce it, right? It was, where did this even come from? Why did this matter?
I don't know. I think they just want to get out so many things that it can do that kind of offset the super crappy marketing job that came out, that they're like, oh, well, we didn't, we forgot to tell you about this. And they're like, oh, look, we're doing the overclock. And, oh, look, you can circle jerk off with 7 other dudes in your room.
Well, that's what I want. So in case people don't know what we're talking about, it was announced or found out, or I don't even know, that you can have 8 controllers on the Xbox One at a time. You all 8 of your idiot friends can connect to your 22-inch monitor with 8 people, and you can play Angry Birds. I don't know what you're playing, but that's the thing is, what is this? Are they just making up features at this point? Is that what this is? They're like, oh yeah, we threw this in because I don't know, we're nervous and we're just gonna give crazy features that make no fucking sense at this point to you. Is there any real world application? I think Hit had the closest thing with sports, but so Hit, go over that. If you have 8 controllers, what were you thinking you can use 8
controllers? If all my
controllers?
buddies came over to my house, because my friends come over and we play NHL. We everyone could be on the same team. 6 players, someone plays goalie. Everyone gets the one screen. You're not splitting into 8, single screens.
Right.
Sports games, I think, are the only games that can get away with something like this. Maybe a game show, maybe Jeopardy or something. I don't know, Wheel of Fortune, trivia game of some sort. But those are the only games I can see supporting this feature. And
then LB said Rock Band, which I think is probably mega rock band. Let's call it. Yeah.
But I mean, isn't it safe to think, and I don't know, maybe because I'm not gaming on my big screen, but don't you almost have to be gaming on a big screen for that room?
Yeah.
I'm not even talking about, splitting it into 8 sections. Even Hit's situation, I've got a 24-inch monitor. My 7 buddies aren't going to get it back at me, and we're all not going to be like this.
No.
On my 24-inch monitor.
I would love to see 8 of you huddle around this webcam, by the way. Just playing a video game. No, I mean, that's the thing, is that's my joke was a 22-inch monitor, because realistically, if you're not on anything that's 50 plus, you can't no one can keep track of anything that's happening on that. All your little heads are going to be huddled around the monitor. You don't even know what the hell is going on. I mean, so I just wonder about this at this point. These features that Microsoft are doing, they're just I guess it's a feature. I don't what? I don't know.
There's one other feature that they now that they've announced this, kind of coincides with another feature that they announced a while ago. Every time you have a controller and you get in front of Kinect, it will know who you are.
Yeah, it'll let you know who you are, right? Yeah.
So I'm guessing with 8-player support, if 8 players are within Kinect's view, it should tell who's who.
If it can tell the difference between 8 fucking people, they're gonna be like, oh no, it has 4 Kinect supports. You need 4 Kinects around the room, all looking at you from various angles. one up your
one
ass.
in your washer and looking up your
Yeah,
toilet.
exactly. Yeah. I don't know. The Proctologist Connect needs to be installed in your anus to know you inside and out, literally. I don't know. It just seems weird to me. It's like it's a feature that's not. I don't think anyone cared about.
I think the only possible way they might be trying to spin this is for the maybe first-time console buyer that is still kind of on the fence and hasn't bought consoles or have any idea in gaming in general, but then they hear, oh wow, I can have 8 buddies come over and we can play. We can hang out. It's like a poker night, and then we're gonna sit around and 8 my buddies. We're gonna play video games at my place. But for the majority of us, we're all gonna be like, dude, you're gonna need like a 65-inch fucking TV.
Well, you know what I say to that too? It's like I like the poker idea, but then I'm like saying to myself, you got 8 buddies at your house. Why don't you just fucking play poker, you dumb shits? Get a deck of cards, get a fucking table, get some cigars, and be a man. If there's 8 of you at your house and you resort to using the computer to play your poker, there's a fucking serious problem. There is a problem there. You guys need to seriously reevaluate what you guys are doing with your free time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I'm with you, but I think there's still part of it is to prey upon the naivete of some of the market. They're like, oh, it has so many more than the competitor, it's got to be better.
It's got to be
even
better,
as ridiculous that sounds to an average gamer. They're like, 8. What am I going to do with 8? Because that was the very first thing when I saw that on Polygon or Joystick or whatever it was. I'm like, the fuck am I going to have 8 dudes around playing on my Xbox One? That's not going to happen.
Even having 8 controllers, you know how expensive 8 controllers are?
Did you see?
You're talking like $50 a controller. If you're spending, you buy a new system, buy a PlayStation.
I've got 8.
I'm almost positive. I don't know for sure because I haven't done the math, but I'm almost positive that 8 controllers could net you pretty close to a PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
Just get the one controller, buy a PlayStation 4. Don't be a fucking idiot.
Did you guys see the tweet that they sent to Yoshida, whatever his name is, the PS3 CEO, whatever, the Sony CEO? They asked him, how many controllers does the PlayStation 4 support? And he just replied back with 4. With his sense of humor, it was kind of like, that's a stupid question. 4.
Yeah. the same amount that the amount that all consoles should have. 4.
4.
Like, no one wants...
funny.
It'd be great if... I would love it if the PlayStation 4 would have 5 controllers. Just one more to be, weird, and awkward. Because you would never have 5, but, you could do it. We just put, the 5th one on the upper right, left-hand side. It's fucking random. That's just how we roll, bitch. And it's just so weird to me. It's like, ugh. And then the other thing that came out this week, and this is just because I don't feel like we need to talk forever about fucking 8 controllers because we all agree it's stupid, was that the digitally downloaded games that you'd be able to sort of preload before release, the whole Steam idea of I bought a game and it's midnight and it's launched, that actually won't be ready at launch for the Xbox One, which I actually thought was really disappointing. The idea is I buy Call of Duty 4 or whatever, Call of Duty 56, and I want the digitally downloaded version. I buy it on a Friday. The game comes out on that Tuesday. It's already downloaded on Friday. Tuesday rolls around. They flip the switch. I'm live, and I'm playing the game. That won't happen on day one. It's a little upsetting. This whole digital thing is just, I'm a little upset by this whole thing. Do you guys care about that? For me, it's actually a big deal because that's the way I like to buy my games. I love buying my games like that. But do you think this is probably not going to affect most people?
Yeah, but when you go to pick up your Xbox One, you're already going to the store, so you have to pick it up, right? You might as well just pick up games that first day. Moving forward, I can understand why that would suck.
Well, sure, if it's only a week until they release it.
It better be ready for Titanfall, basically. That's the next big game to come out.
Yeah.
That's not a launch game. So it better be ready by then. Or, that's going to suck, I think, yeah. But day one, it doesn't really matter because I'm already going there and I'll pick up all the games that I want and come home.
What are we buying day one? Battlefield? Is that it?
No, I have a lot of games
I think I'm with LB. Maybe I just won't buy the system. I don't know what I'm buying anymore.
I got 6 games.
6 games? Can you name them right now or no?
Call of Duty.
Okay, that's fair.
Battlefield.
Okay, that's fair.
Forza. Rise. Dead Rising 3.
Wow.
And that's just for Xbox One. And then Killzone for PS4. So 5 to 6. 5 to 1.
I will have Battlefield 4, but I won't have a console.
To me, by the way, it's my favorite thing that you've ever done. You're like, what you're doing is on the same level of having 8 controllers. It's like if you were to go out and buy 8 controllers, but then just not buy the console. Like 4 weeks later, you're like, well, I had to buy the 8 controllers, I didn't have enough money for the console. I finally got it, so we could all play poker on Friday. Oh, sweet. Nice job, Abby.
All right, well okay, to kind of go back over what you said, I'll go back to the whole digital thing.
Okay.
I'm a little bummed that it's not there on day one because I think that's still... I don't like waiting for stuff to happen.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Because, with this, they don't tell us when. So it could be in 4 months or it could be in 2 fucking years.
Right.
Now, I think we all know the reason why it's not going to be there at launch is because they had to do this patch to fuck up their whole original plan because people were freaking out, so they fucked up the whole deal. So that's why it's not there. In fact, there was an article on Polygon, I think it was an interview, might be with Rev3 or whatnot, or Adam Susser or something, but they were kind of talking about that. And he was like, look, we had a whole bunch of stuff planned in the beginning. We were all really... It was for the digital thing specifically, because he was like, the biggest thing when they were doing the Kinect beta, and this is what I found interesting, is when they were getting feedback, when you did the Kinect beta, all the games were downloadable at the time of the Kinect beta.
Right.
And their biggest feedback was, I wish all my games could be like this. So I could just go download, and it would download and happen. So that is how they got the idea to go digital. They're like,
that's how, not Steam making billions of dollars copying the model directly. They literally went Control C, Control V.
But in addition to for the console market,
right?
They were seeing this with the Kinect beta,
right?
So they're like, holy shit. We can do Steam. Look, we can do it on console. People are ready for it.
People want it, right? Yeah.
And then they didn't. So yeah, I'm a little disappointed about that. I'm also with Hit that when you get the next series of the big games coming out, Destiny, Titanfall,
it's gotta be ready.
It has got to be ready.
Gotta be ready.
You got to have that in place.
It's got to be ready, and it's got to work.
And it's got to work.
Well, that's what I mean by gotta be ready. That's what ready implies, that things don't catch on fire the day that you I mean, I hope they've got... I would say, though, at this point, Microsoft's got the infrastructure for it. I'm actually, believe it or not, I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned because their network is fucking huge. And one of the big things that came out of E3 that no one liked to talk about, because it's really more of a technical thing, it doesn't really apply to gamers, that they have more servers than anyone. Like, they are prepared. Their network is fucking ready. So I think if Steam can do it with a lower, they don't have that type of money to throw out. They got fuck you money. Don't get me wrong, but Microsoft's got fuck you in the face money. They're not. They are ready. They're prepared.
Microsoft's got fuck you money.
Exactly. Very long and drawn out. Fuck you. It's true. It's true. So, I mean, I think that they're prepared for it. I would love it. And I'll even go so far as to say is if they were already planning this before, they obviously felt like they were going to be ready at launch, and I see no reason why 6 months down the road they would be anything but more prepared for this. So I'm looking forward to that. That's one of the reasons I'm still that Xbox One lover, even though everyone else seems to be a hater. I think that is the wave of the future. I think it's the way to go. I'm excited for that type of shit. So... When I saw it wasn't ready for launch, I was a little bummed. But really, Hit's right. I mean, you go to the store, you get your Xbox One. You got 2 choices in terms of blockbuster, if you want to call them blockbusters. You've got your Battlefield 4, your Call of Duty. That's what you got. Maybe Rise if you're a weird like hit. I don't know. Rise is like it's okay. Dead Rising, it's okay. Those are good games. Those are great rentals, if you will. So I mean, I don't know. That's it for me. So I guess you're right. It probably doesn't matter. You know, not a big deal. Or your LB buy a couple controllers, some games, and you forego the system altogether.
It's very logical for me.
Is it?
Because I know I'm not getting the system.
Is it?
I'm not getting the system at launch, but because of how EA does stuff or these manufacturers do now, they're like, well, if you pre-order,
yeah,
you
right.
get this
you get a
free
pony
map pack with it.
Yeah.
No, not just it's a brand new hat. It's a map pack, maps that if I don't pre-order,
You
I'm
have
gonna
to pay for.
buy it.
Yeah, you can spend another $10-15.
Probably 5 to 10, but
Still,
anyway, yeah, I don't want to do that. If I can pre-order for the game that I know I'm going to get, I don't want to pay extra to get something I could have had if I would have just pre-ordered.
That's fair. I think that's fair. So anyway, that's gonna wrap it up for the show. Some weird topics today for sure. Hopefully we have some new info next week to talk about. Who knows? I mean, things are gonna be heating up. Obviously, we're getting. It's weird that like these months now are just seem to be flying by, but we're like really close. Like way closer than I seem to think. I keep like thinking like, oh, we're so far away from the system, but we're like what, almost a month away?
10 weeks.
10 weeks.
10 weeks.
It's crazy, man. It's nuts. Nuts so. So hopefully I have more info, and we're gonna be playing with the time in which we do the show because LB is gonna be indisposed because he's super important now.
I got a job.
He's got a job. I wasn't gonna go there, but yeah, he's got one.
Boo.
So boo working. No, it's good. So we're gonna have to play with this time. We're thinking Wednesday, I guess. I don't know. We'll have to see. But stay tuned. Next week, hopefully, have some new shit. We'll see what happens. And, of course, if not, we will be here Thursdays right around 6:30 p.m. Central, maybe 7. Depends. Unless we, talk about Jennifer Aniston for, an hour beforehand. Then it's later because we're weird like that. But if you want to connect with us, you can start off by connecting with LBSUTKE. LB.
At
Where?
Twitter.
Where, LB? Twitter.
At Xbox Live,
Mm.
at PSN,
Mm.
at Steam,
Mm-hmm.
a cornucopia of locations
I love it.
on the interwebs.
I love it. And Hitman in beautiful HD, or as we call it on Twitch, Source.
Source. You don't know what
Where
you're
can they
getting
find
right
it?
now.
You don't know. We don't know.
You
It
don't
could
know.
be
You
fucking
don't know.
anything.
It's
We know it's not.
surprise.
I tell you, it's not. It's not 480p. We know that.
Actually
That's a separate
says
subject.
excellent.
Does it? Okay, nice.
Yes.
So where can they find you, buddy?
You guys can follow me at Twitter at i6hitman, my Twitch channel, Watchtower Games, and my YouTube channel, youtube.com/i6hitman.
And if you guys haven't noticed, the format of the show has changed. This is the great thing about when Hit does it. The production value goes way up because I don't have to do anything. It's fucking amazing. So we're probably gonna stick to this. I like this format. But you can find me. Look at you got things on the screen. It's fucking
scrolling
bananas.
across.
Yeah,
It's bananas,
text.
guys.
You got
It's
the
bananas.
logo. You got the live.
Live, yeah, as if they didn't know.
Fancy background.
I love it, fanciness. So if you want to connect with me, you can find me at DoodiRock, DOODIROCK. I'm pretty much all over the internet. I'm a big deal, frankly. I'm a pretty big deal. I've got at least 3 to 4 followers on Twitter, and my MySpace page is blowing up. So hit me up whenever you want. Next week we'll try to be here around the same time. I don't know. Is LB, when does this shift in time happen for you?
Wednesday.
So we're doing Wednesday next week.
If possible. Yeah.
If possible, Wednesday. Same bat time, not same bat channel. Wednesday
No.
around 6:30, 7.
No.
No.
It's the later time.
Oh, that's right. We're shifting later.
Yes.
We're
later
like the
time.
Late Show with Jimmy Fallon now. Eventually it's gonna be like 2 a.m. on a Sunday, and just just gonna be like sleeping, like, oh god, this is so stupid. Why do I? So if you're around, I guess it's TBD, right? Check Twitter because we don't know the time that we're gonna do it.
Yes, but I'm guessing
Yeah.
8 p.m. Central.
Okay.
Guessing.
Fair. That's good for me. I'm a fan of that time.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Wasn't that bad? We all right. Wow. So, yeah, that's going to be it. Wrapping up the show next week, Wednesday at 8 Central, possibly. Check your times to know for sure. I love how we do this show. Ish. It's ish. And by the way, when we say ish, that's like the Cable Man's version of 10 to 4:30 p.m. So it's a just stay tuned. Just keep it dialed in right here, twitch.com/duel to play. All right? All right. See you guys next week.
Later.
See you guys.